Welcome back. Today we'll discuss on cellular systems. Okay. Now before we go into the wireless communication, this is a basic fundamental operation. It is given a service to the mobile phone in the form of cells. Okay. Now let us define what you mean by cell. A service area, it is divided into smaller geographic area called cells. Means if I have a geographic area, it will be divided into the small area or divided into sub area, and the sub area is covered by radio waves. We call it as a cells, and each cell is served by a base station, what you call a tower. Okay. In order to minimize interference between cells, the transmit power level of each base station is regulated to be just enough to provide the required signal strength. Means if I have a base station, it is covered with a certain distance, okay, and it will provide enough strength within that particular area of location. Okay, since if I say I have an area of a 10 kilometer, okay, it will be divided into 10 cells. Means each cell will be covering a radius of 1 kilometer. Means at each particular location of 1 kilometer, one base station will be located. Since it will cover a radius of 1 kilometer, it will be covered in the form of like a radius, and it will be the strength. Why it will be covering a 1 kilometer only? After 1 kilometer, the strength of the signal will be getting decreased, since it is required to install a one more tower so that it will cover a radius. Okay. Now, if I have a cells, the cell will be covered with a frequency. Okay. Now, as I took with the previous same example, okay, with a 10 kilometer, okay, each cell will be allocated with a particular frequency. Okay. Now, F1 to F10. Okay. Now, assume that I have covered a 10 kilometer. Now, if I want to cover with a one more 10 kilometer radius, that is a 10 plus 10, 20 kilometer, I am going to be use the same frequency, that is a F1 to F10. We call it as a frequency reuse concept. Okay, this frequency reuse concept, okay, it is essential component for the cellular systems. Means now total how much distance I have covered? 20 kilometer. Okay, for the 20 kilometer, look at this one. If I have a cell of F1, it will be reused after 10 kilometers. I hope you understood. Okay. Now, if say this is my cell, okay, this is just I took here cell 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Now, this what is the frequency here? Assume that one will be having a frequency F1, 2 will be F2, 3 will be F3. Now I'm going to be reuse that frequency here. That is 1. Look at this. Okay. The two cells are not adjacent. Okay. Now we call it as a co-channel. I hope you understood. Okay. Now the cell number 2 is adjacent to cell number 1. Cell number 3 is adjacent to cell number 1. We call it as adjacent cells. Okay. 1, 2, 3 are adjacent cells, and cell number 1, which is taken up again at a certain distance, we call it as a co-channel. Okay, you may see that. Okay, now this is what I have covered is called as a cluster. Means the size of the cluster is 3 cells. In this matter, what the diagram I have shown here. Now previously I took with the example with the 10 cells. What is the size of the cluster? Is a 10. Okay, means the cluster having a 10 cells which are using a frequencies F1 to F10, again it will be reused. Again I have one more cluster of a 10 cells reused. Okay, this is what the concept is very much popular in a wireless communication. Okay, so that it is essential component, okay, for to understand. Now what is the advantage of this? It will cover a more geographic area, okay, and simply making the cells smaller and turning down the power. Okay, now you may see why the small size of the cell is very small. Okay, now assume that I have a 10 frequency. Okay, 10 frequency. Okay, it will be used with a reuse concept. Okay, now each cell having a one frequency. If I want to increase it to 2 frequency, okay, means if I want to have a more number of frequencies or more number of channels in a particular cell, I have to reduce my cluster size. Okay, if I reduce the cluster size, I can have a more number of channels in a one particular cell. Okay, that is how if the smaller the cluster size, the more the frequency channels, means more the service user you can provide a service. Okay, now that is what the advantage. The cellular system supports user mobility and a seamless call transfer from one cell to another with a provided distance. Okay, the handoff process provides a means of seamless transfer of a connection from one base station to another base station. Okay, now these are all. Okay, now same way if I took here, okay, 3 cells, okay, seamless transfer if you are moving from one cell to second cell, and it is also called a handover, seamless transfer, handover. Why? You initiate the call in the cell number 1, all the way you have moved to the cell number 3, means all the way your data has to be getting transferred to the cell number 3, seamless transfer, or we also call it as a handoff. Okay, smaller cells give a large capacity and reduce power consumption. Okay, means I say a small capacity, okay, I took here, this is the cluster size 3. Okay, means if there is a 10 frequencies are there, each will be having 3 frequencies, 3.33, some 3.33, means you can correlate it, there are the 3 channels are there, means earlier there is only one frequency, assume that one person can use it. Now here 3 person can use simultaneously particular cell. That is what the concept. Okay. Now that's the primary drawback are system needs more base stations. That is what we require. If this is a small cell, okay, now cell size is very small, you require a more number of base stations. Nowadays you can observe in a urban we have more number of base stations, more number of towers. Same way if you go away from the urban, okay, in like a hill area or a rural area, we might find a very less towers because the number of users are very less and number of channels are also required a very less. Okay, so that you are increasing the cell size. Okay. Now this is what a concept of cell sectoring. Okay, the performance of a wireless cellular system is significantly limited by co-channel interference, that is a CCI. Okay, now previously I discussed on co-channel. Okay, now look at the diagram here. Okay, now this is the one cluster. I'll see, this is the one cluster. Okay, now you can see there is a one cluster I shown here. Okay, what is the size of the cluster here? 7. Why? Because there the 7 cells are there. Okay, look at this one. A, its adjacent will be B, C, D, E, F and G. These are all adjacent to what? A cell. Okay. Now, if I go to the one more cluster, look at this. This is the second cluster. Now, is a co-channel. Co-channel. A is a co-channel of this. Okay. I can't have adjacent A to A. There is interference. Same frequency will be coming in the same cell. It may cause a disturbance to the mobile phone communication. Okay. Now, co-channel A and A are co-channels. Now, this is a co-channel. Okay. This is a co-channel. Like this. Okay. I have a co-channel. Like this. Similarly, each cell has its own co-channels. Okay. I hope you understood the difference between adjacent and the co-channel. Okay. Now this is a coverage area. how the data, how the geographic location has covered with a full of cells. Okay, each cell will be formed with a tower, as I discussed on this. Now this is a cell and the cluster. I hope you can see with a dark outline, it is called as a cluster. Okay. Now each having a certain frequency range, the strength of the signal will be getting decreased if you go away from the particular cell. Now look at this one. If I say, if I initiated the call at the A, at the center, means you assume that you are very near to the tower. How you go away from the tower A means strength of the signal will be getting decreased. Now if you reach almost the boundary of the A, okay, assume that you are crossing to the B, okay, immediately you will be entered into the B cell, means you will find a different frequency, but your call is not dropped. Call will be continuously on. Okay, so this is what the strength, how it will be like A, from if you go from A, you are on the boundary of A and B. Okay, now it will decide. Who will decide? The mobile will decide. I am getting a high power strength from the B than the A. Immediately it will ask to the previous cell A, I require a handoff. I want to do the handoff, so that it will perform the handoff operation for the mobile phone, and immediately it will jump to the location B. Okay, this is what the simple concept of operation. It is very much operated in the mobile phones. Okay, now look at this one in the cell sector. Again, I took with like a 7. Each cell, again, it is divided into 3 small cells. Okay, 3 small cells in the sense. Okay, now assume that there is a circle. Okay, I have a circle. Obviously, the circle's angle will be 360 degree. 360 degree. Now, if I want to cover a full 360 degree, I must have 3 antennas. Okay, now assume that 3 antenna. Okay, each antenna will be covering a range of 120 degree. Okay, now 3 antennas in a one cell, and one antenna will be covering 120 degree, second antenna 120 degree, 240 degree, and 240 plus 120, 360 degree. Means in the cell I have 3 antennas are installed, and it will be covering a 360 full 360 degree. Okay, I hope you can relate with like a circle and the hexagon. Okay, now in the technically, if I have a cell and the cell, okay, in the circle, there might be the gap will be available in each cell. That gap will be something like no coverage area. You should not think that there is a no coverage area. So that more specifically, if I want to correlate with a circle, they found it as a hexagon will be like a more look like a circle. So they have considered as a hexagon. Okay. Now I have 3 cells, means what is the 3 sector? 120 degree. Okay. Assume that I have 6 antennas. 6 antennas in a one tower, in a one particular tower, means each antenna will be covering of a 60 degree. Okay. Now this is what the sectoring concept will be happening for the wireless communication. Means it is a coverage area in which the operation of the particular frequency will be used. Okay, that is what in cellular system, other cell interference, there is a OCI, is a decreasing function of the radius of the cell R and the distance to the center of the neighboring cell, and an increasing function of the transmit power. Okay, that is what I discussed. Okay, now how you move away from the tower, the strength of the signal will be decreased, and as I told, okay, one cell is indicated with a circle. Obviously, it has got like a radius R. Now, if I consider as a cell, it has got like a radius R. Okay. Now each cell having a radius R like this. Okay. Now, okay. Now, this is what how we will discuss here. Okay. This is what cell and radius R. Okay. Now, if I consider this is a co-channel. Okay. With this respect to this is A, and this is again the A. We call it the distance D. Okay. Now this is the distance D between the co-channels. Okay. There is each cell has a radius R. Okay. Now the spatial isolation between co-channel cells can be measured by defining parameter Z. Okay. There is a co-channel reuse ratio. co-channel reuse ratio of the distance to the center of the nearest co-channel cell D, okay, in hexagonal cell structure. Okay, this is given what the equation here. I hope you understood. Z equal to D divided by R. D means the distance between the co-channel. R is radius of each cell. Okay, where 1 by F is the size of a cluster and the inverse of the frequency reuse factor. Okay, as I discussed, the cluster size usually 3, 5 and the 7 and the 12. Okay, it may not be like a 4 or 6 like this. Usually, most of the time you will find the 3, 5 and the 7. 3 will be the more used in the urban. 7, it is in rural places. Okay. F reduces co-channel interference so that it improves the quality of the communication link and the capacity. Okay, obviously it will improve the quality. Now, received signal to interference ratio SIR can be used instead of SINR, signal to interference ratio. If the number of interfering cells is Ni, the SIR for a mobile station can be given by the equation S divided by I equal to S divided by summation of II. Okay, now I hope you understood. Now, in the previously, okay, now this is what the how the area will be covered here. Okay, this is what particular area has been covered like this. Now, I previously I had given like this. Okay, something like A. Okay, A, this A, this A, this A, co-channel. Okay, now you need to be calculating. Okay, here you're calculating how much the interference at this point with respect to other co-channels. That is II, adjacent cells. Okay, that is what the equation has been indicated here. Signal at this point, because they may not interfere. Adjacent cell, they may not interfere because the frequency is very different. Okay, now you may ask that it is very far distance, then how will they interfere? Obviously, it is a wireless. Okay, there is a there might be the distance is very small. Okay, you have to assume that it is covered with like a 1 kilometer. Within the 1 kilometer, I have so many towers installed, and interference may come in. Okay, so that we need to calculate how much the SINR. Okay. Okay, that is S divided by summation of I equal to 1 to Ni II, where S is the received power of the desired signal and II is the interference power from the ith co-channel base station. Okay, if I have a ith co-channel, okay, base station, there are the 4 co-channels will be there. Then I have each particular having 1, 2, 3, 4 co-channels. Then how much it is the signal strength is coming here. It should kept above an appropriate threshold for the reliable communication. Okay, we should have a threshold level has to be maintained for to calculate it. Okay, now this is what the detailed diagram how we can understand. Okay, that is a base station BS0. It's all the co-channels will be given. Okay, how much the interference will be causing here. This is what using the equation here is a standard equation. There is no derivation required for you. Just you to go through with the equation here. Okay. Now there is a next concept we need to understand is the fading. Is the fading. Okay. Now before we understood the fading, okay, it's because of the multipath. One of the more intriguing aspect of wireless channel is the fading phenomena. Unlike the path loss or the shadowing, which are the large scale attenuation factor due to distance or obstacles, means okay, it is as good as okay. Now I have a signal. Okay. Now when the signal is there, when it is transmitted from the tower, when it is reaches at the receiver end, it is getting attenuated because of the like obstacles. That is what we call as a fading. And why it is causing? It is because of the multipath. Multipath in the sense the signal is traveled all the way other distances or other location, and it is reached to the receiver end, and it is causing a disturbances. Okay, this is what the spatial diversity. Okay, it is the problem can be overcome by using a MIMO technique. There is a multiple antenna technique. Okay, there is a mitigation of broadband fading since the data rate R is proportional to 1 by T. Okay, high the data rate systems almost invariably have a multipath delay spread and hence experience very serious inter-symbol interference. Okay, inter-symbol interference. Okay, as I discussed. Okay, because of the overlap of the same sequence arriving at a different time interval. Okay, choosing a technique to effectively reduce ISI is a central design decision for any high data rate system. Okay, since through the OFDM, okay, it is a very much a popular system which will be introduced in the LTE to overcome the problem of a fading. Okay, usually this OFDM, okay, it is come into consideration with the WI max and for the LTE systems. Okay. And it is very much essential to understand, okay, how the mitigation problem which will be occurred in the LTE system. And as we seen in the previous slide, ARQ, okay, and cyclic redundancy and cyclic prefix. Okay, I think in the last hour I discussed on cyclic prefix. That was the operation. It will overcome the problem of fading. Okay, I hope you understood from the today's class.